Hello and welcome to Nug and Cymek Review DC Comics, the New 52, where every week Nug and I review every single one of the new DC titles. I'm Andrew Cymek.
And I'm Nug, and before we get started this week, I'd just like to plug that I'm doing some Movember fundraising here, trying to grow in my mustache for Movember, and I'm trying to raise some funds, so if you'd like to donate, you can click the link below here, and you can, even $5 would be great, and help out with Movember. First up this week, Deathstroke. A comic that had us the first week, lost us the next time.
Yeah.
Now, what's happening? Is this up or down?
I think it's about the same. I liked it better than week 2.
Yes.
But, you know how you make drinking games out of things that happen quite a bit?
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, Deathstroke has it so that every time he decapitates someone,
Take a shot.
Because there's a lot of gratuitous decapitations in Deathstroke number 3.
But what's really neat is you get to see this new villain, Legacy, and you get to see him die.
Yeah.
More than once.
That's right.
And the Legacy name is actually pretty great. It's an actual great name for a villain.
Yeah.
And a great concept for a villain.
It's a great concept. There's actually, conceptually, there's some really nice stuff in the writing here.
Absolutely.
So it's not a total, like, just don't bother picking up this book.
No.
He's talking about his own age and perception on how people actually see him, and he's kind of, his ego is shot a bit where he needs to be at the top killers, and he needs to make sure that people know it.
And it is, perception is everything. It's what everybody else thinks. He's the #1 assassin in the world because he is known to be that.
Yes.
I doubt there's anybody out there better than him, but there are probably people who are less overt than him.
That's right.
But he's doing that on purpose.
And you know what's funny? They actually question Slade's overtness in the book.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what I actually question it as well.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, if you are this expert assassin, do you just go in through the front door and
kick the front door in and go crazy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I'm actually questioning, are Slade's tactics, the best way to do the job?
But then he says that's why he's doing it, so that people know.
So, hey.
So it's about the same as number 2. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
But it's not the best book of the week.
No, I mean, and Kyle Higgins is capable of doing some great work. I mean, I love his Nightwing. I think his Nightwing is really good. And I think there's elements of this book that are really good. I just think that, is it wrong to say that the action is boring?
Well, when the book is all action,
yeah,
I guess you want something else to happen.
Yeah, and I'm almost like I'm really attaching onto those little moments, right? So, for me, it's not necessarily a pickup, but it's not a bad book either.
No, and for those keeping track at home, month 3 of Deathstroke, still don't know what's in the briefcase. Moving on to Grifter, the Who's That of the Wildstorm universe.
He's the guy.
He's the guy, and at least this month we get a blurb at the front, from Special Ops Soldier to Connors, blah, 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 blah. And it's the mask that aliens fear.
The mask.
It's the mask. That's what it is. His power is that he wears a mask. So it's more of the same, more exploration of what this guy's going to do now that he's got alien DNA in him. Still not interested.
I'm probably the most disappointed with Grifter, just because the build-up is like, this is the best guy from the Wildstorm. Yeah. What's funny is that number 3 is actually, I feel, the best
of the
Grifter
comics.
books.
Of all the Grifter books, this one's the best so far.
The positive is that Grifter is getting better.
Slowly getting better.
But here's the thing. They have this scene where it's a standoff between he and his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be emotional. But the artist chooses to draw the characters from so far away. It's not emotional at all.
No.
You're not connecting to the characters. It should be an emotional scene between brothers. It's just stuff happening. And then, when the hero makes a decision to prove a point, and then spoilers, he wanted to prove to his brother that he was being chased by aliens, and he had to stall him long enough for the alien to catch up to them, which causes his brother to die.
He did it!
Grifter's like the worst hero ever. Like, talk about a plan backfiring.
Real good plan, buddy.
Yeah, and then he's angry. That was my brother you killed.
Well, you did.
You kind of put him in the position.
Let's not play the blame game, Grifter.
Exactly.
But yeah, still not.
It's still not a pickup.
No.
But it's getting better.
But and this is something that's happening this week, especially with the 3s. And getting into the 4s, we're going to see some crossover of some titles.
Right.
That's going to happen. There will be crossover of some titles.
Yeah.
It looks like Green Arrow is going to be in the next one. So is Green Arrow... In my head, I'm like, can the Green Arrow goodness, which is good, can that goodness rub off on Grifter? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no. Up next, Legion Lost, a book that we were first month. Last month, one of the better bright spots of the week. Legion Lost got a little better. Yeah. This one, even better than the last.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was better than the last.
It's doing it for me. We're starting to really care about the characters.
Yes, Legion Lost #1 started out, I guess maybe it was just let's throw the characters into the situation, and it was stuff happening, and I couldn't attach myself to any of the characters, right? Nope. And then issue 2, they focused on Wildfire.
Yep.
Right? Well, issue 3 has the same structure as issue 2, where they focus on a character. Even though the main plot is going on, we are now focused on...
We're seeing it through the eyes of one of the team. And they're still, battling the fact that they inadvertently let this virus loose in the past, our present, it looks like, that they lost some of their team members, that they're dealing with that and moving on and trying to stop threats as they happen, but they kind of are worried that they might be transmitting the virus as well, since they clearly have it.
That's right.
And Timberwolf is, the badass of the team, but also he's like the loner, but he also is like let's go do stuff, I don't want to be cooped up, but...
Right.
He knows that something's wrong, and he's got some of the virus in him.
Yeah.
And that virus is a metavirus, and it changes people. So, looks like some of our Legionnaires are going to get some altered powers, or even some new powers.
So I think that structurally, I mean, it was a misstep #1, but this was the plan all along, is to kind of put all the characters together and then slowly introduce the characters and flush them out a bit. Having Timberwolf be the main character in this week's issue, you get to know him. I'm not sure if it's the correct way to introduce new readers to the characters. Maybe, I don't want to say every issue should be an origin story. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying that it's a different way of introducing the characters. Whereas the pace was very fast in the first issue, but where so much was happening, but you didn't care about everyone. Now the pace has slowed. We're introducing the characters. Legion Lost, it's as good as last week's for me, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's a real great #3 for Legion Lost. It looks like it's moving up. Up next, Suicide Squad. Ladies on the internet, if you're upset about the way Catwoman and Starfire are portrayed, turn your sights on to Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad. For real.
Yeah, I give you full permission to get on this and her portrayal. I love the Harley Quinn character. I love the Starfire character. I like the Catwoman character. This is the only character of all those that I actually have issue with.
They have to go into their civvies. The Suicide Squad have to go undercover. And Harley Quinn, turns out, her skin's that color. It's not makeup. It's that color now.
Yeah, so that's a similarity with the Joker. But that's not the big change.
No. The big change is that at some point when they're undercover and hiding out and needing to clean up after the big zombie attack last issue, Harley tries to bang Deadshot.
Yeah.
Deadshot goes for it. Thankfully, they get a boner erasure call from Waller, and that makes that go away. But I couldn't believe I was reading that.
It's one thing to portray promiscuous women.
Yes.
But it's like Harley, the thing with Harley is that there's this, she's odd. She's kind of off, but she's always got this sweetness to her as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
as far as I know about Harley, and granted, I don't know a lot about the Bat people, because who cares, but, for me, but from what I know about Harley, she loves one dude.
Yeah.
Joker.
Yeah.
Why are you banging other dudes, or trying to?
But also that, it's like, my understanding of the Harley Quinn character, which is, I think, what made her likable to a lot of people, was she saw the good
in the Joker.
Not the way she's portrayed here, where she likes it rough. And she likes it dark. Like, it's kind of like, this is the one character that I'm just not... It's almost like a complete reversal. Her lines sound like Harley, like she still says, put in and stuff like that. But this is not Harley, and I think that
No.
for me, this issue was very polarizing because there is a lot of good in this issue, but the Harley stuff is really bad.
Yeah, it's upsetting. Hey, like the El Diablo and Black Spider,
Great.
That
The
story is
relationship
great.
there, great.
When you see King Shark being a shark, the best.
Amazing. He can blend in. No problem.
No problem, guys. But the Harley stuff was very disappointing.
Yeah, and again, you can hear us talking. We liked a lot about this issue.
Yeah.
But the Harley stuff, wow.
Is it because I'm playing Arkham City? It is. Up next, Resurrection Man. A character that I love, and the second issue was... the first issue really blew me away. It took a while. The second issue kind of grew on Andrew.
Yeah.
And now we're into the third issue of this, and we get to see Resurrection Man, who gets killed and always comes back to life with a new superpower. But there's consequences to dying and coming back. What happens to your soul? What happens to you in that in-between period? Who benefits?
I think it's a great balance of action, adventure, and as well as some conceptually deep questions
And
for
some
the Resurrection Man.
I don't want to call... There's some religious stuff in here, but it's not like heavy-handed.
Yeah.
It's just that blanket of like, okay, you're dead, but you keep coming back to life. And there's a character in here who's like, the books are off.
Yeah.
The sides don't balance,
the
buddy.
bookkeeping.
Yeah, the bookkeeping's off, which is
great.
awesome.
I really like this issue of Resurrection Man. This issue, I think it really found its good balance of everything. You have the action, you have the supernatural element,
Yep.
you have the body doubles, who are...
Body doubles
they're
are
great.
awesome.
I love them. And you have his dad's old friend from the...
from the old days, the
old age
transhuman.
home. The transhuman. And he's got... I'm not gonna spoil it for you.
He's the best.
But it's a great little moment.
You know when you've got a crazy old man in your life who's like, I used to be something, and everybody goes, sure thing, Grandpa. Transhuman is one of those guys, and it's pretty great. Up next, Frankenstein and the Agents of Shade. Another book that, for me, has been solid the whole time, and story-wise and dialogue-wise, this book is a home run for me.
Yeah, you hear us talking a lot about when a book knows what kind of book it is.
Oh.
Almost like when you're talking about genres of movies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you got your B movie, you got your science fiction movie. This is a monster movie, super squad, a monster squad.
It's awesome.
And the concepts thrown around in this, similar to Stormwatch, where it's like big ideas.
Yeah.
And there are a few books in the new DC relaunch where there's an energy to the ideas, if you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Like there's a Jeff Lemire, his concepts are just going a mile a minute. I mean, like you see, we're showing different portals and different monsters from mountains. There's so much good writing in this book. Unfortunately, with issue 3, the art is really starting to suffer.
It's always been scratchy, but I think you described it as scribbly, this issue.
Yeah.
There's some moments where, in the front of the book, where I thought, oh, the scratchy went away, and now it's a solid piece, but then the scratchy comes back, and it's just a little too loose for me. I don't mind the scratchy if it's that all the way through, but it just seemed to ebb and flow, and it wasn't consistent with what was going on in the book. I can see that done for style purposes.
That's right.
When things are calm, the art might be calmer, but that's not the case. It just kind of seems to waver.
Yeah, like with issue 1 and 2, we had an issue with number 2, the art, a little bit at the end, when we couldn't really figure out what was going on. It's okay for a book to have a certain style.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at I, Vampire.
Yeah.
The Voodoo even, the different style of the art. And it's okay for Frankenstein to have this
for sure
harder edged art, but it's starting to look like it's not matching up with the other issues as well.
Getting a little loose.
So unfortunately, it's one of those things where the story, the concept, the dialogue,
everything
the
about the book
Ray Palmer is amazing.
Ray's cool, man.
It's a great book. It's just I want the art to be as good as the story, and I'm feeling it suffering a bit.
And it's not that the scratchy art is our problem. It's just that it's not. It seems to be inconsistent.
Yeah.
So Keep the scratchy art. I love the style, but
Yeah.
it just needs to be a little cleaned up or consistent to it. But that book, Frankenstein's awesome.
Yeah.
Really good book. Up next, Demon Knights. Demon Knights, which I've been really enjoying. It's the the Game of Thrones of this superhero universe. It's also clearly takes place in the past. We've seen a panel of Demon Knights in Stormwatch #1. There they are.
Yeah.
So there's a tie-in. This makes me think that this might be the first Stormwatch or a version of Stormwatch, a chapter in the Stormwatch history,
which is pretty cool. I think that Demon Knights is one of those fun books as well. Their depiction of Vandal Savage.
Oh, there's not that
Shining Knight. Like there's just even the Demon Etrigan.
Yes.
Something happens in this book that was new to me. I had to ask Nug if this was new to the character.
And I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is somewhat. I don't think it's been explained that way before.
Right.
But I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like it too. Do you want to tell them?
Sure. Spoilers. I'm not sure, and fans, feel free to write it on our chat board there, or comments. But when the demon appears, Jason Blood goes to hell.
Yeah, I didn't know that they actually switch places for
Yeah,
that.
and I don't know if that's new, but I really like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great moment because when Jason Blood comes back, he's like, I need water. I was in hell a little too long, which was really great. But overall, yeah, it's a great, fun book. And they spend a lot of time in this issue really fleshing out the characters' voices.
Well, yeah, because there's been action.
Yeah.
And then they get a chance to, Madame Xanadu puts a field up around, like a shield around the town.
Yeah, but it's on a time limit.
It's on a time limit, but at least they get that moment to go, okay, what do we got to do? And Vandal Savage starts training people to fight.
Which is amazing.
Which is the best. Vandal Savage might be, like, I've always enjoyed Vandal Savage as a villain.
Right.
Because he's immortal, he's been around, he knows it all, he's arrogant.
Yeah.
This Vandal Savage seems not quite as with it.
Right.
He still seems, he's on that path.
He's aloof.
He's on that path from caveman to all-knowing conqueror. Yeah. So he's in the middle there where he's like, this is fun, let's fight, I'm crazy.
I think this is the Vandal Savage before he gets bored.
Yeah, that could be it.
Where he's still having fun with his immortality.
Oh, and it's so great. And the horsewoman shows up and actually has some dialogue. The Amazon character is in this. Like, everybody's kind of coming together, and it's really fun.
It's a jam-packed book.
Yes.
Different characters, all with different voices, in medieval times. And it's great. It's a fun book. I'd pick it up.
And medieval times, the history period, not the restaurant.
Although they serve good chicken there, too.
True. Up next, Mr. Terrific. A book that, George doesn't like it. He doesn't read issue 2,
The owner of
the
Silver Snail hated the first issue.
We loved it.
Yeah, we thought it was a great mix of humor and action.
Yeah, and issue 2 had a little more of that, but we thought it might have stumbled a little.
Yeah.
And now issue 3, a lot less humor. Mr. Terrific does save the day, but kind of disappoints a young fan.
Wow.
He learned a lesson.
I think my issue with Mr. Terrific is that I've read 3 different parts.
Yep.
And they all feel very different.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing the cohesion with the whole story and the feel of what Mr. Terrific's supposed to be.
And even the end of this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like it's going to a 4th place.
Yeah, I mean,
like,
I don't know.
Right
this could be the end of that first arc for Mr. Terrific, these 3 issues.
Well, I'm telling you right now, the front. Gifted, look at this. Like, everybody's getting their blurb this week. Grifters, I didn't care about, but listen to this. Gifted with a superior mind, billionaire Michael Holt overcame great personal tragedy and now uses his intelligence to police the world against technological crimes and science gone mad, keeping our future safe. Michael Holt is Mr. Terrific. That's a book I'd read.
Yeah.
And then this book sort of fights science gone mad, has a real human lesson in it, and then at the end, I'll spoil it, aliens.
Yeah.
So how's that technology or science gone mad?
I don't know, but
you're confusing me.
Yeah, the problem I'm having with this book, I mean, a lot of the reviews that we had were like, we gotta read the whole arc.
Yes.
We gotta read the whole story, right? So we read Red Lanterns, and we thought that after reading the full 3-issue arc, that it was a better story overall. I could see that there was a uniform style and theme and pace to it. reading these 3 issues as a whole story,
they're so different.
They're so different. And I was like, what I liked about issue number 1 was the speed, the humor, the action,
the Karen Star.
I'm Power Girl Mark, so I'm.
But and then she leaves issue 2, just walks away, and she's no longer in this comic.
3. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Mr. Terrific number 3 is a disappointment for me.
Yep.
Because spoilers, they also reveal that the main villain was responsible for.
Well, a villain. I'm not calling him the main villain.
Right.
If he's the main villain, he wouldn't get defeated in issue 2 or 3. He would not go down in issue 3.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure because it feels like that's what they set him up as, and I could be wrong, but I'm saying that his main villain, or I thought that what this was creating was his arch enemy, his arch villain, and we're done.
Yeah.
Now we're on to aliens.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if he comes back. But for me, I think that the wrap-up, the tie-in, the 3 issues, and we know who could have killed his wife, I guess.
Yep.
He kind of, goes nuts on him, filling his face with his fists.
Yeah.
Makes a kid unhappy.
I guess.
Here's the thing that he basically catches him and then says, okay, now your turn, because I like to play fair. For the 3rd smartest man on the planet, that is the dumbest move ever.
Yep.
Almost as dumb as Grifter.
Yep.
So why would a hero do that?
I'm going to play fair.
Jeez.
I'm going to play fair. You know what? It's your turn. Come on, villain. It's your turn to take a shot. Oh, now I'm dead.
Yeah, why?
Yeah, dumb.
It's just, I have a lot of issues with number 3.
I'm really mad at Mr. Terrific because I liked the first issue so much, and this has kind of slid. Moving on. Superboy. I really want to try to care about this. I like that the Wildstorm character's in here. I like that she shows up.
Yeah.
That Superboy actually has his first adventure out of the bubble. I like that part of it.
Yeah.
I don't like Superboy.
Well, I don't like Superman, so...
Well, I'm saying I like Superboy, even T-shirt jeans Superboy from the previous pre-boot, let's say.
Yeah.
I like T-shirt jeans Superboy and Young Justice, even though he knows he's a lab rat and he's angry as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I like that idea of that character. This Superboy, I'm like, I don't even know what you can do.
I have a question for you, though.
I have time for one.
Okay. Do you like the Superboy in this issue more than in issues 1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay. I agree. 100%. That
I still don't know what he can do.
my problem with the other 2 issues was that I actually liked the other characters more than the main character of the book.
Yes, you're right.
I was liking Rose. I was and in this issue they don't have much Rose in the comic. Maybe that's why I liked Superboy more.
This goofy reveal. What do I know about Superboy?
Yeah.
Previously, what I know about Superboy, he's half human, half Kryptonian.
Right.
Okay? Here, he's battling something that says he's like a motley stew of a million different alien DNAs.
Well, they are trying something different with the Superman books. All of them. With Superman, Superboy, Supergirl.
Turns out, we're not real fans of any of those books, except Action I'm liking.
Yeah, I mean... like
of them. Of all the Superman.
Of all the Superman books. Yeah, I want to say that issue 3 is the best of the Superboy run so far. So I am positive that it's going in the right direction. But I still like the other characters more than Superboy.
Me too.
I mean, maybe that's a problem.
I want to see more of Rose. I want to see more of Red. I want to see what this is all about. I can't wait to next... Like, I can't wait to next issue for more of Red. I don't care about Superman.
And between us, I can't wait until they reboot Superman back to how he was.
Hopefully they'll take Superboy and Supergirl with them. Up next, Green Lantern. Hey guys, see Arkillo and Sinestro hiding from Arkillo? This doesn't happen. You know what? Great book. Fun book. Yeah. Hal and Sinestro teaming up. Hal still teaching Sinestro how to use his ring because Hal's never really learned how to use it to do certain things. Yeah. We get a really spoilers galore. Can we make a big spoiler on the bottom of this? Ish. Yeah. Watch it be the teeniest thing. Ganthet's been brainwashed or lobotomized back to being not having any emotions, and they say manhunters happened, and they screwed up, So we made the Green Lanterns. They're not the best.
They screwed up.
It's time for the Third Army.
What that third army is, we're not really sure.
I'm going to go on a limb.
Okay.
And because they got to have one in every sector.
Yeah.
Now, what do they have one of in every sector?
iPhones?
No.
What?
Planets. This is a way for Mogo to come back. I think it will be full planets. Not individual, but giant things that are easier. Suns. Maybe even a sun.
Well, that's...
Because robots didn't work and sentient beings didn't work. What's left?
That's the possibility.
Inanimate objects. Planets, suns. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the thing is Jeff Johns does a great job with the teasers.
Yes.
There's a cliffhanger.
Yes.
I'm not going to spoil,
No.
but I'm interested.
Yes.
I'm like, what is going to happen? He's great with the action-packed, fast-paced, humorous storytelling.
And that's what this is.
And that's what this is. It's not really changing the Green Lantern lore. It's just adding on to the history in a nice way. I mean, there's some questions that Hal has for Sinestro that, maybe he saw this coming, and I like it. I mean, Sinestro makes some decisions here. I mean, I love the fact that Sinestro makes fun of Hal because he is romantic and is more likely to chase after the girl than to save a huge planet. And Sinestro has his own little moment like that. So, I mean, Johns is a master when it comes to character and knowing the characters. Green Lantern is a great book and a pickup for me for sure.
I gotta say, it's a pickup for me too. If he knows Hal as well as he does, I think he knows Sinestro even better.
Yeah.
Moving on, one of the minis, Penguin.
Number two.
One of the 2 of 5. Penguin is a badass. It is established in the first issue how big a badass he is, and then he talks a great game, and Batman shows up and kind of kills his momentum.
The House of Cards comes crashing down.
And as soon as Batman leaves, he's like, I'm going to wipe every smile off the face of Gotham.
Yeah.
I had it, and I had all the control, and as soon as Batman left, all his guys were like, fucking Batman totally took him down. Well, yeah, and now Penguin's even angrier. Yeah. But you get to see a lot of young Penguin and how circumstances
created him.
Created a monster. Yeah. His mother was nothing but nice to him, but his dad and his brothers were dicks.
Yeah.
Kids at school were dicks.
Yeah.
And bullying gets you nowhere, guys, because you could turn any one of those kids that you're bullying into the next Penguin. And Penguin's a monster, and not in looks. He is a horrible person.
To the core.
Oh.
To the core. And you know what? This is a great book. If you haven't picked up Penguin #1, I mean, I'm really surprised at this miniseries because I thought I read everything there was.
And I thought for sure it wouldn't be Penguin. I thought if you're going to give a Bat villain a mini, I'm in line for Riddler. Yeah. I go Scarecrow. Like anybody,
you don't really think about Penguin as that badass villain. You just don't. But they are doing a great job making him that.
And it's dark, and it's brooding, and it's creepy, and it's Penguin, which is so great.
The art in the book is amazing. Oh. It's exactly what a Batman book needs to feel like and look like. Again, I know what you're thinking. It's Penguin. I don't want to read it. This is a book you should be reading.
For sure it is.
Issue #2 is just as good as issue #1, and it will make you ask the question. I mean, we always look at the heroes, and what makes a hero a great hero is they get up when they get knocked down. Well, ask yourself this question. What if a villain picks themselves up every time they get knocked down? Does that make them a great villain?
Oh, it certainly makes them a badass.
Great book.
Next, the other mini this week, Huntress. Huntress #2 of 8. We got a long way to go on Huntress. Huntress, first issue. Hey, you know what? Here's a female in the Bat family, kicking ass on her own.
On her own.
Not showing, as far as female heroes go, not a lot of skin. Just doing a great job of going to Italy and kicking some major ass.
Yep.
Still going.
It's still going, and I think you said it best at the beginning of this review when you said 8 issues. Do you get where I'm going with this?
Yep.
It's not a bad book.
It's not a bad book. It's just there's going to be 8 of these.
Yeah. And
Penguin's going to be 5, and I'm like, it might... Probably by the time it's over, I'll say probably could have been 6.
Yeah, because it's so jam-packed and
but
you're enjoying
5's
it.
good.
Yeah.
8, unless there's some, hint, hint, spoilers galore, some major reveal in the middle of this or near the end of this that ties in
hopefully
with...
next issue, I'm just saying.
Let's say, maybe Huntress, who is legitimately an Earth 2 character.
Yeah.
The only thing we know about her is that her passport says Bertinelli.
Right.
That's the only thing. We don't know that's her name. Yeah. So I'm hoping that this ties into Mr. Terrific, ties into the JSA thing that's coming out. All of that.
I have hopes for it. I'm not going to... I would love for that to be true. I don't know.
Yes, I'm putting it out there.
Yeah, but as a book, I felt like this issue was kind of stretching the story a bit.
There was some major, 4 pages of her not talking at a computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of thought bubbles, a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And then when the action comes, it's great. But those scenes could have been just much tighter. Tighten it up.
Abbreviated, and let's get moving. And I kind of what I'm worried about is another 2 issues like this. It's not that they're bad issues.
No.
It's that issue number 1 was very good.
Yeah.
Issue number 2 is just good.
Yep.
And let's hit it out of the park with number 3 next week.
Let's see what happens. We got 5 more of these to go, 6 more of these. Oh boy. Up next, Batwoman. This is where I slip and say, this is, of all the Bat books, this is it for me.
Yeah.
This is the one that's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the supernatural stuff and the dark stuff, and Kate dealing with...
And the character is amazing. The actual voice of the character, the personality of the character is different than all the other Bat characters.
The art is so different than all the other Bat books.
If you've been reading the first 2 issues of Batwoman, you'll know that the art actually changes from when she's Batwoman to when she's Kate Kane. When she's actually in... it's a different style. Mm-hmm. When she's Batwoman, it's more painted. And there's a moment where she's at her apartment, but she's still in the Batwoman costume, and they actually paint her.
They mix the art.
I've never seen that done in the comic book.
It's so cool.
And I thought that was amazing. An amazing decision.
Excellent book. Definitely pick it up.
Yeah. Again, we've been raving about Batwoman since issue number 1. It continues to deliver.
For sure.
Great book.
Next, Batgirl. With Nightwing.
Yep.
So we get to see Babs dealing with the villain, dealing with some disappointment fighting crime, dealing with, I want to be friends with my dad, I don't want everyone taking care of me, I don't want everyone looking out for me and treating me with kid gloves, so let's have a knockdown, drag-out fight with Dick, who actually gives a crap. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I want Batgirl to be so good. It's one of my favorite characters. Every incarnation of Batgirl I've really liked. I've liked Barbara. I've liked...
he loves Stephanie.
I love Stephanie, but I really liked...
Cass?
I love Cass.
All right.
I thought No Man's Land with the introduction of Cassie where she couldn't talk. I love that character. And I find that I want to like this new incarnation, but I was mentioning how Gail Simone is one of my favorite writers.
Mine too.
When she can have fun with the character.
When she can, I feel when she lets loose, that's when I'm like, yes, Gail, go for it.
Yes. On her Wonder Woman run, I felt that she, if this makes sense to you, she was trying too hard to make it perfect. And when you try so hard to make something perfect, sometimes I don't want to say break it, but you get what I'm saying, where it's like, you kind of just have to let go sometimes. Right. And it'll become that creation that you want it to become.
Right.
And I'm hoping it's not the same with Batgirl, where she wants it to be so great, and she's, rewriting lines. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of just letting it flow and, go for the feeling, she's rewriting it to make it perfect and a definitive Batgirl. Cause
this is not to say that it's a terrible book.
No, that's the funny thing, right? It's just, there's glimpses of it being a great book, like at the top of the pull list.
Yeah.
And it's almost like there's some missteps where you're like, oh, I know you want to throw Nightwing in, but do they have to have a drag-out fight where he's bleeding?
Yeah, that part of it seemed weird to me. I get that, the rest of the Bat family wanted to check up on her because they love her, and then she's
great moment, by the way.
Amazing moment.
We're not actually we're not doubting you. it's because we love you.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then
that's
she's
awesome.
like, let's fight! And I get that that's what somebody might do, but in this circumstance, her fighting Dick just seemed weird.
And I really get what Gale is doing
Yes.
with the interior monologue, with the voice about, I have to do this by myself, I have to prove myself so I don't feel the fear when someone points a gun at me. Like, I get all that, and there's so much good in the book.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's a couple missteps from preventing it to be a great book, and I just feel like, just have fun with it. Just have fun with it, because better work's going to come out of it.
For sure. Right after the first arc, we might see some more fun.
Yeah.
And finally, Batman and also Robin in this book. Continuing a great story with this great character who we just know by his name because Bruce knows him.
Yeah.
But this dude is on top of it. He knows who Damian is. He knows who Bruce is. He knows how to find them. He knows how to push buttons.
Yeah.
All of that. You know what? It's great. Bruce, Damian, and this other dude with the I don't know what to call him. Spider guy. That's a terrible name. But for me, the star of this particular issue is Alfred. Alfred, who bests that little brat Damian not once but twice.
Yes.
Go Alfred.
And Batman and Robin #2 was my book of the week. The last month that we reviewed it, and again, Batman and Robin #3 is again my book of the week.
Oh wow!
I think that Tomasi has such a handle on the father and son dynamic.
You're right,
and the Alfred dynamic.
Alfred was the
Alfred
best.
is amazing in this book, and what I love about Batman and Robin is that it feels different than the other Bat books.
It does, and I like that too. Because for me, there's Batman and Robin, there's Batman, there's Detective Comics. I'm like, it's unnecessary. Dark Knight, all unnecessary. This one is the one I want to read. I like Detective.
Yeah.
I guess Batman's okay.
Well, Batman's great.
And then Dark Knight.
Dark Knight's.
Yeah. So I get why. I'm starting to understand why the books exist.
Right.
But this one with Robin, Damian's new to me.
Yeah.
Newish to me, and I don't like him. So all I want to do is see this dude take down Robin and kick the crap out of him and have Batman deal with that.
Right,
I'm not saying kill him.
Yeah.
I'm saying kick the crap out of him and let Dad deal with the fact that his kid got his ass
And I'm from the other side. I love the character of Damian because I love any character that puts Bruce at ease or at unease.
Unease.
Right? Where he doesn't know how to deal with his son. He does say he's proud of him this week. I mean, I love what Tomasi's doing. But on all the reviews, I've always been saying about Tomasi and that, about how great a writer he is. But the art is amazing as well, and Gleason does a great job in this. There's one panel where Damian punches a guy who's recording a mugging through his iPhone and smashes it, and the facial expressions are amazing. And if you remember what my complaint was about Grifter, was that he had this standoff where there should be some emotion in these characters' faces, and instead we are given these standing, like shadows.
Give Grifter a break. He can't show emotion behind the rag.
That 100%. That's true. Maybe like the fact that we're so far away, it's a distance thing.
It's hard.
With Gleason's art, there's so much character in Alfred's expressions and Damian's expressions and Bruce's expressions. It's just what the characters are feeling, and then the added dialogue, which is just amazing. And on top of that, they end it with a cliffhanger. It's not a cliffhanger, but it's a tease for the next.
I'm really excited about the next issue,
and it's got me hook, line, and sinker. It's got me.
I will say this: one of the moments of the book that creeped me out, and I haven't said anything to him about this yet, so I'm interested to see what he says. He's kicking the crap out of the guy who is taking video or pictures of the mugging.
Yeah.
And when Damian kicks the crap out of him, he's pretty much murdering the guy, giving him brain damage, beating him senseless. And what's he saying? Give us a big smile. Sounds a lot like another Batman villain to me.
I'm loving this run. Everything he just said. It's a great scene. Because Damian is bordering on that edge. And I think this other character is going to almost like come to the dark side because
for sure
he's on that edge, and Bruce is trying to hold him, like any good father would, but he's teetering closer and closer to the abyss.
Great book.
Great book.
And now it's time for Red Tornado Watch. There is no Red Tornado in this week's comics.
Couldn't find any real people this time. Just
No, Flash and Green Lantern had to go.
oh.
And now, time for the books of the week.
And every week we pick 6 because everyone else picks 5.
And we like to give special mention to at least one more.
That's right. So I've got Demon Knights number 3.
Right on.
Batgirl number 3. So good. Can be great. Hopefully it will be. Batwoman number 3. Still amazing. Penguin number 2. If you're not picking up Penguin, do it.
Pick it up.
Green Lantern number 3. Continuing great work by Johns.
Mm-hmm.
And my book of the week, Batman and Robin number 3. I'm on board 100% with this book.
It's a great book, and you're not wrong for picking that for your book of the week. I will say this. I think because Penguin's a miniseries that I get to pick one more.
Okay.
And also, I like all the books you picked are great. Demon Knights, Batman, Batwoman, Batman and Robin, Green Lantern, they're all great. Penguin especially is great. I have to give a big shout out to Resurrection Man, which totally rocked the house this week.
It was a great book this week.
And again, Frankenstein, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I love this book. The art getting a little scratchy, but I have a feeling they can pull it together. But it's so good. The art really does set the tone of the book, too.
Don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
The art, because the book is a fun book.
It's great stuff. And so thank you so much for watching. Please leave comments on our YouTube channel. Thanks to the Silver Snail for having us in. Don't forget Movember fundraising. Look for Team Mo Illusionoid on the Movember page or on my Facebook page. Feel free to add me. I'll put the link on there. Also, this month at the Silver Snail, big Movember sale. Any
action figure that has a mustache,
I love it.
There's a deal on it.
There's a deal on a mustache. You know what that means? Cheap Landos. Let's do it.